Hey everyone, finally back after how many months? 4 or 5 very long months. Um, I've been gone because I've been stressing about school. That's kind of the topic of today's episode. Uh, I started school the 23rd of August. My last episode was the 19th of August, and now it's December 14th. So, you know, a lot, four more months passed, and then I finally record. um, Today's episode is just a little bit about what happened, why it happened, and how I went about it and, overcame the problems that I had along the way. So, I mean, to start off, I basically had, uh, at first, an easy time in college. I mean, I'm going to mention this early on. College isn't necessarily supposed to be easy, so there should be a big red flag immediately. So, I I went I went through my first, let's see, 3 weeks and I felt pretty good. I had high grades. I was almost at the top of my class. I was doing really well, and then it just started plummeting. And I don't know, I wanted to bring in someone who I could get a little, information from, if I'm going to say that. And his name is Angel Santana. He has a podcast, Have Faith, Let It Begin. He's obviously has been on this podcast before, but Angel, if you could, show up from your nice little vacation over there, because I see it.
Whoa! Yes, that was not my backyard, that's for sure.
Oh, I wish.
Me too. Hey everybody, hello. How is everybody from nothing to something? It is a pleasure, always an honor to be asked to come on this show, but it's so cool to come on as a college, I don't want to say expert, but yeah, I am a college graduate. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's talk about college. How's it going, man?
It could be going better. So,
Okay, all
which
right,
is not always a good thing to hear, but in this case, it's all right.
all right.
What I wanted to know from you is, how was your first semester of college?
Ooh, ooh.
How, okay, what was your, if you were to give it a
Oh.
1 out of 10, where would you put it?
Question: GPA wise, or just my overall opinion of my first semester?
Let's do both, but let's start off with
Oh,
the opinion.
good way to start. Parents will be listening. So, okay. So as far as what I expected and what I got, I'm gonna say my expectations was a 6,
Okay.
but my overall experience was a high 8.5. I would say 8.5.
Really?
Yeah, but then GPA wise, I struggled, man. One of the things that I don't think, remember, I graduated in 97. So I was
Mhm.
back in college. Not that that matters. Well, hopefully it does matter. But for me, I felt like high school didn't prepare me for college. What I mean by that, with all due respect to all my teachers and my alma mater, is it the workload was not as much as it was when you first, that first day, and they're like, yo, read chapter 1 through 7. You're like, what? We would
Yeah.
cover that in a like
Yeah,
6 month span.
definitely true.
Yeah, so that part was an eye opener. Um, but I mean, we can take it back to parking. You in high school, you can get there 5 minutes before the bell, park, run in, and you're good. Here, you got to get to school like 45 minutes early to get good parking. I can
Yes,
imagine what it's
definitely.
like for you now.
I would sometimes park down the street just to go and walk to class. Yeah.
But I drove by there and there's a parking garage. That parking garage was not a parking garage. It was just one lot.
Oh yeah, no, it's filled. It's 3 stories high, for those who don't know. It's SUNY Orange.
Yeah,
Um, they now have a 3-level parking garage.
that's
You could put
crazy.
about 200 cars in there. It's filled every single weekday.
So now you know where my tuition money went.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Wow,
Definitely.
really? That many cars? Is it just one parking garage by Harriman Hall?
Yep.
That's
It's
just the
just
one,
one.
right?
It's just one parking garage.
That's where I always park before the parking garage, because I found that it was the closest one to where I would when I wanted to go to Wendy's, or right, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh, I know what you mean.
For
You get
those
the
of you that don't
munchies.
know, right, exactly. So for those of you that don't know, let me paint a better picture, because we're talking like we know it, they don't know, right?
That's
So,
true.
for the college students out there, you want to be closest to the food, like, right? So we live in an area where the college is right off the beaten path of this stretch called, I don't even know what the road, Dawson Avenue. No, what's it called? I don't remember the
I can't remember. I don't know. I didn't pay
whatever the
attention.
street is. We'll call it street, College Street. We'll just call it College Street.
Okay.
But everything is on that strip, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like all the food. I found that Harriman's, which is the first college area, which is also where my classes were, where was the best off beaten path. I wanted just a beeline to get burger.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, okay. I remember. It's 17M. That's the road.
17M. There you go.
Yeah. So
Now, whew, man,
it's nuts because they don't have a formal cafeteria. It's all just, yeah,
really?
that's gone. They don't have that anymore.
What do you mean, like formal? Because of the pandemic?
Yeah, since the pandemic hit,
Okay.
college doesn't have a cafeteria. It's all vending machines, self-serve,
Wait a minute, you can self-serve
pre-packaged,
though.
it's all pre-packaged food
Wow.
in
I
coolers.
used to love the French fries there, man.
Never heard of them.
Holy cow. Here's a quick story for you, 10-second story. So when I was younger, I looked like Wayne Newton when he was younger. So every time I would go to the cafeteria, this lunch lady, when I was the register, where she would say, "Oh my God, it's Wayne Newton. Here, honey, just take this for free." And I would get free fries.
What?
Yes.
It's like
So
a buck 50.
I'd get fries for free. All I had to do was do like Donkashay, hey, like that. And she'd go, "Oh my God, Ray Newton." I would get, I'd load up on the fries.
That's awesome. Holy cow. I
Yes.
wish
So
I could do
kudos
that.
to the lunch lady land. Yes.
It's funny because I don't even know where the cafeteria would be at this point.
It was, oh, well, see, I don't know where everything's changed. The main building for the office where the bookstore is.
Okay. Yep.
I mean, that's where the register, the bursars, all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you walk in, the cafeteria was in the basement.
Oh, okay. Now that's COVID-19 testing.
Oh my, it's so sad.
Yeah, it's
It's so
just
sad.
did a complete, 180.
And I was telling you offline before you went on for the no, nothing to something family here, or the nation. I don't know what you guys call them, but
The family, yeah.
the family. So I was telling Matt, I was like, the hardest part that you're going through is you're not getting that experience because of this pandemic. You're not getting that independence, because
Mhm.
everything has got rules and regulations right now. So I guess in one aspect it stinks, but I guess it keeps you in your studies, because really there's no distraction, right? You got to just get in and get out.
It's true. Let's see, I made a good friends this year. I made about 5 in
That's all you
college.
really need. I mean,
It's
how
all I
many?
really need, but I only got to talk to really close was about 5 people this year. I mean, reckon there's a lot of kids that go to that school, and
Listen, I'm
I only met
43.
5.
I'm 43. I'll be 44. I graduated in 2011 from SUNY, and I still communicate with 2 people,
That's
and I
pretty
had
good.
about 5 friends. So guess what? You're in good company, man.
I hope.
Yeah. So I mean, I know 4, but I communicate the most with 2, and those 2 were girlfriend and boyfriend, and I've married them.
Really?
Yes, they were together from high school. I met them in college, and then I met them later years down the road, and then they found out that I was able to marry people, and I married them.
Wow. That is,
So, but I know we're off topic, but
yeah.
so back to college. So you finished. You were saying that college is,
So
what's your percentage? Or your
so going back to, oops, sorry, I had to adjust my little headset I got on. Um, Going back. So if I was to give the experience a 1 out of 10, I give it like a 6.5, maybe a 7, in my
Really?
opinion. Yeah, just because of it wasn't completely awful. Um, but it did definitely have its low points. Um,
Are you
that
going right into your major? Because I'm not ashamed to admit it. I had developmental classes. I didn't score very high on my admissions test, so I had to take reading. I had to take writing.
Mm,
So I didn't really get English 101 yet. So my first semester
gotcha.
was a lot of just like almost preparing myself for the real first semester.
Yeah, that's kind of why it was sort of tough for me because I scored high in all of my assessments
That's
going into
great.
college. Yeah, I did. I scored out of all of math. I did not need any of it. Um,
Really?
I scored into a level above the intro science, and I already completed all the English, so I didn't have to worry about my reading portion.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it was very mind blowing because I thought they would give you questions on the assessment, which you take online, where you have to write an essay or something. But it
Yeah.
was mainly like, could you answer this? And you just say yes or no. And
I
that
wish I took that test.
it was 100
I
questions and it wasn't that bad. So I guess I scored pretty well.
Wow. I had to take I had to do the test that you were talking about,
Yeah,
essays. And let me tell you, English 101 was no joke. Oh my gosh,
no.
it's paper and paper after paper. Oh my God, I never see so much red ink. It was like murder on my page.
Yeah, that's a story for another time. My English 101 and the professor. That's just
But
oh,
remember,
bad
in
news.
97, we would go to the library. There was only two computers. Two.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you're talking about we have to hand write our
Hmm.
essays. And our final paper had to be on computer paper. So you have to
Oh.
go to the library and sign like this list. And I would go, Angel would be on at 2:30 p.m. So from 2:30 to 3, I had to type my paper. And the thing about it is that the person didn't log off at 2:30, they're eating in
Hmm.
my time.
Really?
That's where I started. It was all
Oh
the internet wasn't big yet.
yeah. Oh my. Ugh. I
I
could not.
Yeah.
No way.
I had people at home can't see it, but we're doing this on virtual too. I had this little, like the feeling when you have those pencil rubbing against your
Oh yeah. The
I mine was like a
cramping.
blister by the end of that year.
Ugh.
Yeah, man. Band-aids, you name it. Oh.
Not fun. But so going back to the uh comprehension stuff, I went and scored high, but I only give it about a 6.5 out of 7 because it's very hard to make friends for about a month and a half. Basically everyone just kind of picks up their phone and doesn't want to talk to anyone because they're like, this place already sucks with COVID. Why bother try making a friend?
uh,
And about the beginning of November rolls around. Um, kind of sorry for everyone listening. I'm fast forwarding through this. I'll go back in a sec. Um, Beginning of November rolls around, and I start making friends. We hang out in the lounge, which is the new renovated science building. Um, Very fancy, and they have booths, and we hang out, we talk, and it just feels normal. It feels like high school, but you have a little bit more freedom because you have a car and can just go anywhere and do anything you want. You can go on 17M and go grab a burger because you could do that.
yes.
And I did do that a lot. So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
but the GPA portion, I give it like a 4. It just
Mm.
was not my semester. This is gonna be your first time hearing it, and I only told my dad about this so far, and my mom probably can hear me through the door or something.
Uh-oh.
But I did not do so well in my classes. I failed every class,
Okay.
sadly.
I
But
failed 2 out of my 4.
I'm not letting it defeat me because I know I have a different plan, going ahead of me. Um, but it stinks because I had a 65 in chemistry and C's get degrees. So I needed a 70. Well, I think I got about 70 on the final, but that only brought my grade up to a 68.
Yeah.
So I
Grading's
couldn't
tough, man.
I
There's no
could
curve.
not get the chemistry. Biology, I thought that would be the icing on the cake, super easy, and it wasn't. Final kicked my butt. But chemistry was the opposite. I did better in chemistry than I did in biology. So, I mean, overall, if I could go back and do it again, I would change my mindset of how to go about school. And I know I really wanted it bad, but I don't think I wanted it for the right reasons. I think I wanted it just to say I was in college and that, hey, I'm going to hopefully become a nurse one day. I don't think I wanted it because I really wanted to be a nurse. Like I really do, but I didn't set that as my motivation. I took that and put it in the back seat, and I put the ego first of
Question:
that. Yeah.
Is it safe to say, correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
when you went into college, did you have the mindset that this was high school part two?
I I feel like it
Let me
was
rephrase it.
more
Let me rephrase it. Let me
okay.
rephrase it. High school part two with a college label.
Yes, that.
Okay, I'm going to ask another question. Going into the classes, did you were you taken back by the workload, quote unquote, or did you feel that the workload was doable because you didn't go to class every day? I don't know if you were doing a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, a Tuesday, Thursday. Did the scheduling kind of throw you off a little bit?
It was both. Um
Okay.
it was not very easy because I only had to start off, I was taking biology, chemistry, and psychology. You
So that's
know,
12 credits.
um actually only 9, sadly.
Oh, okay. No,
But
I don't
it's
know
all
what the
right.
credits
It's
are anymore.
Yeah, it's just 3 a class.
Okay.
Um so I dropped psych in about middle of October. It just wasn't my thing. I could take it in the winter, don't have to worry about it. I had a plan. Um so originally my classes went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
That's not
Just
bad.
not bad at all. Then come to find out, I dropped the Friday class, which is psychology, so it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, well, now, later on, they're like, okay, we're going basically all virtual. You only go in for your chemistry class. So my
Oh,
biology, Monday and Tuesday, it's all online. It's an hour long each.
how are
Actually,
you
two,
on virtual?
awful.
Okay, so I'm trying to make the heads
Yeah,
or tails of this. So the virtual part took a strain on you.
it did. It made me it was very hard to make friends or actually even just talk to anyone because
Right.
you're stuck on a computer, and
I
it
couldn't do it, my friend. I wouldn't be able to do that at all.
mhm,
Like right now, we're talking. I would rather do a podcast with you in person,
me too,
right? It
definitely.
flows better. So, I guess what I'm trying to get at, and I don't mean to keep stopping you, is I don't think you failed, man. And I would tell you, I've known you
Mhm,
since a kid. I would tell you if you failed. I don't think you failed. I think that the mature thing that you just said was that you didn't have your game plan. You didn't have that motion, that set motion, this like that target goal,
mhm,
and you didn't execute it. The fact that
yeah,
you can sit here right now and say, you know what, Angel, this is what I know I have to do. You're not going to have that bad, because that's what happened to me. I failed the first semester,
yeah,
and I lost my financial aid,
really.
all of it. So now I had to pay.
Oof.
And when you got to pay,
Oh,
you
you
got
know
to
what it
play.
feels like.
Yeah, I always say you got to pay, you got to play. So I'm proud of you, man, that you can sit here and say, I'm not going to let it defeat me. I'm going to attack it a different way. And
Yep.
by all means, bounce ideas off of me. You know, the best advice I can give you, the closer you get to your actual classes that are toward your degree, like when you start doing chemistry that but pertains to your career goal,
hmm
that's when you're going to have more fun, and the workload doesn't feel like workload. It just
Definitely.
feels like knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the struggles, was feeling that it just didn't pertain to anything that had to do with my, degree that I set in front of me. And, going back to the virtual part, it was very frustrating thinking I got out of high school past the all virtual days and going back in person and going back to virtual and just going back and forth, getting whiplash from it basically. And just to be smacked in the face again and say, okay, the teacher doesn't feel comfortable sitting in a class 6 feet apart with masks on. So she's going to make it very hard and everyone go virtual.
Mm,
And okay, I respect the decision. You don't want to, you know, you don't want to get sick. That's you against 30 other people in the class. And I hate to be the person to say sometimes you got to make the tough decision because I tend to not make the tough decision a lot. But there should be some there should have been an option for somehow we could go in person and do something that way. And
it's
I'm a
hard.
very tactile, hands-on learner. So chemistry, I guess, makes sense. It was easier. Um, didn't feel easier, but I guess it was easier in a way. Um, it was just it was just a crazy semester. I mean, I made a bunch of friends, I lost a bunch of friends, and then, semester somehow just ended out of nowhere last week, and I was like, "Wow, that was fast." It just felt so short because
Mm,
you start in August and you end in December, and usually I'm taking a midterm around this time in high school, but I'm not in high school. I take a final. And every week you learn something new and you don't learn you don't review from what you learned in the past week. So is
mhm,
going back to what you said about the where would you grade it? It was very out of the blue, and it kind of hit me over the head a little bit,
right.
and the workload hit me over the head a little bit. So I definitely would give that a 4, in my opinion.
Do you think that 3 classes is too much for you at this point?
Definitely. Yeah. Um I I I think even 2 for me, safe to say that would be too much. And I know there might be people out there saying, "Wow, how is 2 classes too much for you?" Well, I'm not the type of person who can handle 2 college level classes at the same time right now. And not saying I can't do it later on. Totally can. I know I can. It's just right now I can't necessarily do that. But uh fast forwarding into what I've been working on and thinking about for the past month, and it's set in stone now, which is great. I am officially taking a break from college, and instead of just lifeguarding, because that's my year-round job. I lifeguard now. Um, Instead of just doing that, I will now be an EMT by the end of next spring, and I'll go through EMT school. It is very hands-on, rigorous 6-month process. But about end of May, early June, they'll hire me and I'll be an EMT for about a year, year and a half. But, depending on how work is, I'll be working full time. I might just take one class at a time. And I just want everyone out there to know it's okay. Like, it's okay not to be okay. I say that a lot. Um, it's okay to take one at a time. That's the phrase, one step at a time. Well, this case, it's one class at a time. And
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
um I went to college in the fall of '97 after graduating in '97 from high school. I struggled with college for the first 2 years. Um, I took a break from college. I went into my career. Eventually, for me, I decided it was time to go back to college because I needed a degree.
Mhm,
So in 2006, I enrolled back into college and I took one class at a time because I knew that the workload was too much for me. And I knew that if I can do just one and do well, it would motivate me to take two. So
mm,
I went from one semester to one class to 2 classes on the second semester. And then I kept it at two and then eventually made it to four. So water rises at its own level. Absolutely agree with you. One class would probably be just sufficient. My
mhm,
recommendation, if you can do it, would be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, one class because you're getting the consistency. You go
yeah,
on, off, and you get a weekend and you reset. That's me.
Mhm.
That worked for me. And you're seeing the teacher 3 days a week.
It's definitely nice because in my case, I had chemistry 1 day a week, 3 hours and 45 minutes long.
That's long.
Yeah, 5 o'clock at night till 8:45.
Ooh.
Not a good one. Um, and just 1 day a week dreading that every single day for the past 4 months, dreading Wednesday is just it takes a toll on your body and your
Wow.
mind. It's just very, like, exhausting. I remember I've had, last week I had 2 panic attacks for the first time in about 2, 3 years. And I was at first I started freaking out. I felt sick. I had a headache. I'm shaky. I'm all over the place. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And I heard like a little voice go off in my head saying, "You're having a panic attack." So I go to therapy. People know this on the show, and I went through it, and I fought through the panic attack, and I sat in a stall by myself for 30 minutes, just kind of deep breaths, calming down, using
Mm.
techniques I've learned. And I go and take the final. I thought I did pretty well. I did better than I expected because I almost passed chemistry. Um, and I got home. It was two in the same day. I got home and I'm about to go to bed, and I just can't sleep, and I start freaking out, and then it just horrible night. Every single night since then, it's still going on. I have nightmares like continuously. Either I don't have a dream or I just don't remember it, or it's something really horrific. I I just don't know why. And I think it has to do with the amount of stress I was under, and all of a sudden it's just relieved. Um it's like a shock. It's very hot out, but you jump into cold water.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like that. But yeah, I didn't let's see, I didn't eat. I ate maybe a meal every other day for like 3, 4 days. Yeah, 4 days. So I had about two and a half meals for about 4 days last week. And it's just, anxiety is nothing to mess around with, man. It's a big deal, and people don't give it the credit that it should be. You know, I don't even know the word for it. It should be put out there,
Yeah.
but it's
I
just it's nuts.
My first day back in college when I went back in 2006, I took algebra,
Hmm.
and I went in and I took my first test and I flunked it. And it was a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class. And I walked out of the class, ran to my car, and started hyperventilating and started to cry because I felt that I gave up my life in Providence, Rhode Island,
Hmm.
and moved back to fulfill a goal. And here I am in my first test, and I'm failing. And
Yeah.
I had chest pain. I called the doctor, and I've been on blood pressure medication ever since. I was on blood pressure. I had high blood pressure due to the sales jobs, but I was officially deemed high blood pressure.
Wow.
So I had a panic attack.
Hmm.
Um, and you know, I eventually failed that class. Um, I went and took it again, and I literally came close to passing, but I failed the midterm, which put me mathematically out of the equation. So I had to drop out again. Now I put my plan in motion, and I had already had a career with AAA, but I
Hmm.
had to change my way of thinking. And I took a Wednesday night schedule. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Five
Very.
o'clock, 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, 5 to 8:30 math class. But I went to school at 7:30 a.m. and went into the math lab. And I stayed in the math lab from 8 a.m. till 12 o'clock noon, took my lunch 1 hour, went back and studied from 1 to 4:30, and then went to class. And I did that the entire semester because I would be danged if I was going to fail again. So I
Wow.
spent 6 to 7 hours a day on the same day that I had the Wednesday class. And then on my weekends, I would go to the lab, and I did it, and I passed my final.
That is
So,
some dedication.
when you're ready, man, take that one class, put all your force, your will, your drive into it. You're going to excel, and it's all you need. That's what you need. Once you get that class under your belt, it's smooth sailing from there,
Mhm.
and it will be. You'll do well.
Yeah, thank you. It's just a pain, having to go through college, and I talk about this with a lot of people. The stereotype, college is everything. There's nothing, you can do, like, you have to go to college. You have to do this. And okay, for certain things, yes, you have to go to college. But, you can be an EMT without college. You can be a paramedic. You could be a lot of things. You could be an electrician, plumber, you can do a trade, you can do literally anything. And well, almost everything. But I mean, props to you for putting in that dedication and, giving it your all during that. I thought I was going to do that this semester, and it was obviously a different plan set for me, but for this job, I'm ready to just go at it and, give it my all.
I'm going to leave you with these words, and this is the only time that I'm going to play the elder role for you.
Mm,
I don't disagree with your statement, but I'm going to debate it. Put yourself in this predicament. I had 20 years plus of sales experience. Every job that I ever took and nailed and got promoted and did well and excelled because it was just in me, and I could do it with my eyes closed.
mhm,
I never made the amount of money, not that I chase money. Anybody on
mhm,
my show knows I never chase money. I chase my dreams and my career. However, all the things that I could have earned that would have helped me financially in my own personal experience was never there because I didn't have that degree. The
mm,
second I went and I got that degree, here I am now working in a hospital. And because I have my experience, my degree, I make more than what I would have made if I went in there without it. So I just want you to always have that in the back of your mind. Yes, you can be an EMT, you can save lives,
mhm,
but you can make much more, and you can have much more long term when you have that degree. Because at the end of the
definitely.
day, that degree, once you earn it and once you get it, no one can ever take it away from you.
Yeah, that's definitely a blessing at all. It's just great to have. Um,
And you'll get it.
yeah, I
I
know.
I hear you, man, and it's exactly what I was. You
Yeah.
think in the back of your mind, you're like, I don't think I'm ever going to get it, but I know I can. And
Mhm.
and your mind plays tricks with you, and those voices. You got that little angel here, the devil here, the angel here, and it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then all of a
Oh,
sudden you're like,
it's
oh, I'm
all
gonna
the
go for the
time.
degree. I'm gonna go for this. Oh, I can't because I want to be an EMT. I want to be an EMT. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't worry. You are a smart guy. You know where you need to be. I
Yep,
guarantee you, we're going to be on this podcast when you're wearing your cap and gown and you have a degree.
definitely. I will be looking forward to that day.
And I'll be there. I'll make you a promise right on the show. When you graduate, I will be there. I will be there. I will be there.
I'll hold you to it.
Promise. I promise.
Alrighty. I'd say with that we can schedule for a part two or something, because wow, we are way overdue. But
We
thank you.
always do.
Yeah, it always goes like that. But who cares, right? So
That's it.
thank you for joining us today. As always, it's a pleasure. And thanks for everyone, listening. Hope everyone had a enjoyable time and could learn a little bit of something about college and just life in general. But hopefully we'll catch you part 12, part 13.
Excellent. And I want to tell all your fans out there that I'm inviting you to come onto my show one day this week. We'll record sometime this week and get you back on. And for all my viewers that I'm going to play this for them in future, listen to Nothing to Something. It's Matt H. He is who he is. This is the craziest thing that I'm ever going to say. You are hearing the best of the best. This gentleman is who he is. It's what you see is what you get. He doesn't pull punches. He gives it to you exactly what's coming from his heart. I guarantee all of you, if you listen to every one of his episodes, and if you haven't, go back to the beginning, because there's so much more you can get out of this guy. Because there's not a podcast right there. No podcast out there that does what he does. And for that, I wish you luck.
All right. Thank you for that. We will definitely talk more after this podcast ends. But with that, that's Nothing to Something signing off.